$1 million woman. And when I think about that, it's, what is that next level for you? Whether that's $1 million or, $250,000 or multiple millions, it really doesn't matter. Maybe it's your first 6 figures. But I wanted to celebrate because this past week I had a conversation with a client of mine that's been with me for the last 9 months. And she's actually been somebody who's been through some of my other programs, but this was in a one-on-one coaching. And when we started working together, she was making about $4,000 a month with the intention to really, actually increase that significantly. And after the first few months, her income actually jumped up to $20,000. And then since then, for the last 6 months, she's been averaging around $26,000 a month. And I'm not sharing this to give myself any credit, but really just as a testimony of what can shift and what can change. And that's the conversation that I want to have today. And not necessarily about that client, but really relating it back to you. And, what does that transformation look like? And what is the next level of your becoming that, woman on the path to millions, the woman on the path to creating financial freedom for yourself, the woman on the path to creating a legacy of financial empowerment for yourself, for your children, all of it. What does that really look like and what's required? And what are you focusing on when you get into that next level shift? Because it is a next level and it's a different territory and you have to lead yourself into that space. So the first thing I want to say here is that, there's nothing that's required of you besides being yourself. And this is really, really important to remember because we often think that we have to show up differently or be some other person or, be a certain way. But that's not the truth, right? That you can do this just as you are, right? Because we're all human, right? We all have things that are strengths and weaknesses and things that we're working through and all of that. And those things are gonna stay with us on our journey, right? There is a becoming, there is a next level, there is a transformation, and you get to do it the way that you are, right? By being yourself. So I want to give you that permission. Also, I want to share just some of the main tips that I have seen and what's required and what to focus on. So I wrote down a bunch of notes and actually wrote down sort of, 9 core things that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to run through them and please use the comments and, make this interactive. So if there's questions, if there's things that come up, if there's things that you want to reiterate for yourself, hone in on that and set your intention. Why did you come and join me in this conversation? What are you hoping this is going to unlock for you? Because anytime I go and I join a masterclass, I join a workshop, I join a Facebook Live or a presentation or retreat or anything, I set that intention. I want to know for myself, what am I intending that this is going to unlock in me? And not because this is going to be some, the thing or to give credit to that, but really to give credit to your commitment, to being unwavering, to it being something that could unlock something. So let's get into it. Are you guys ready? So there's so much to share about this kind of transformation and really expanding into, you making your first 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 6-figure months. And this kind of transformation is holistic, right? It's all of you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your mindset and your emotional capacity to hold more, because there is a shift, right? When we start to expand the amount of money that we're bringing in, that means we're expanding into more clients, we're expanding into more money, we're expanding into more potential for challenges, for more pressures, more disappointments, more highs, right? So we need to be able to confidently navigate that, right? And to be able to navigate the unknown of that and what that's going to mean, right? Because there will be times that you may want to drop it, right? Because it's a lot for your system to carry and it's a lot on your nervous system to adjust to that, right? So even in alignment, we are going to be circulating more energy through us as we expand, right? That's what expansion is. So we have to have capacity to hold that, right? And it's something that we adapt to. So I want to put that out there. I love to remind my clients that it can be easy, because it can absolutely 100% be easy. But here's the deal. I don't want you, and I always tell this to people, I don't want you to desire ease because of the things that you fear, right? Or the difficulties that you fear, right? because difficulty is going to come no matter whether you're expanding in your business or not, right? It just is. It's a part of the contrasting experience that makes up life. I want you to desire ease so that you have space, right? And capacity to move through the difficulty with ease. And this is critical. This is a really big distinction, right? You can receive massively, right? You can receive massively even when you're in difficult moments, when you're processing low vibe feelings. Like, that's just life. It's happening, right? So you can be human, right? You can be inside of your life, and money can still flow to you. That's allowed. So that's a big piece. And this is really crucial to learn, because emotional swings are part of running a business. And I will say that they get more even. I found that often the biggest swings were at the beginning of my business, and now those swings are a lot less high and low, but there still are swings, right? Because we are human and there's things that are happening, right? Today, my kids went back to school, and it was, like I said, bittersweet. There was emotion and things that I wanted to process. And I was so grateful that I had space to be able to process through that and still show up to serve my clients and do my work, right? So we get to put systems in place, energetically, physically, spiritually, mentally, so that we can be with it all. And that's the mindset piece, right? That's the capacity to hold more. 2, at this level, you get to prioritize what turns you on. I'm going to say that again. At this level, you get to prioritize what turns you on, right? When you're in this place of lack and you're just sort of like getting by and struggling, sometimes you're just kind of like doing this stuff to get by, right? But when you're in this place of expansion and you're really allowing in more, you get to prioritize what turns you on. And I want to say this to you because for many of you, you need to hear this in order to give yourselves permission to follow that, right? So asking yourself what lights you up, right? What feels really juicy and rich, right? No settling, no dilly-dallying, no tolerating, no, I should do this, but really tuning into the fact that you being lit up by your work, you being, excited and fulfilled in what you're doing is amplifying your success, right? It's amplifying your magnetism. It's amplifying your creativity, your innovation, your leadership, right? Your ability to magnetize even more of the things that you desire in your life. So you being in this energy, fully committed, fully expressed, is really that royalty energy. It's that queen-like energy that radiates and magnetizes out. In my Embodied Abundance retreat, we talked about this concept of really walking our one of one path, really sitting, standing, being, embodying that royalty energy, right? This is part of that. Okay, so number 3, when you're at this place of expansion, you know that your life outside of business is even more important than your business. And this is really a key one. It matters. And so I want you to lean in. And I've had this experience and I've seen this firsthand, right? Up levels in your relationships, in your capacity to be present, your intimacy, your playfulness, right? Your feminine energy. This all has to be prioritized as you move into the next levels of expansion, right? It has to be something that you're focused on, because if you're not, here's what happens, right? You can fall into that very masculine, pushing, forcing, get it done, badass boss lady, here I am to tackle it, kind of fierceness that can have the impact of losing the joie de vivre, right? The joy of life, right? Where you kind of like forget all the awesomeness that's in the abundance that's happening around you because you're just in there getting it done. And this can lead to burnout. It can create resentment, all of the things. So your choice. I've often said to my clients too, work doesn't give you a hug at the end of the day. So you got to prioritize this. And I saw this firsthand with my father when my stepmother died, and he was all consumed in work. And then it was like, oh my gosh, through this loss, you realized, and he realized that there was big pieces of life that were, that he was missing, right? By not prioritizing and being present for it, right? That was part of the work that he had to learn, right? And part of our own healing as a family. So it's important stuff. Okay, 4, keep money magical, right? And abundant, right? Not this burdensome duty that you resent. I was on a call recently with somebody who just joined my money mastery community, and those were her words, right? Money feels like a burden. I'm starting to resent that I'm having to make it because all these things that I'm paying out, right? And there was a dynamic that was happening there that it wasn't magical. It wasn't feeling abundant. And that's, why she's in the course with me and doing this work with me. So here's the thing, money management is key. And especially as you expand into next levels and you really become a more powerful receiver, hire a bookkeeper, get an accountant, find a CPA, find someone to help you with your long-term investments, with your wealth management. Really, tie this thing up neatly. Make sure that this is something that you are mastering, because managing money is respecting money. And the more that you manage money well, right, the more you trust yourself with money, and then the more that you are able to make bigger moves with your money and grow your money in different ways. So it's one thing to have money come, and it's an entirely another thing to have money come and stay. And this is where I often see things get wobbly for women, right? They can make a lot of money, but then all the money flows out and then they're left at the end of the day feeling like, well, I don't have any money, right? And so it becomes a burden and they get resentful. So understanding how to have your money come and stay and to be able to use your cash flow to grow your money is important. And it feels good to trust money, and it feels good to feel powerful with money and your ability to respect it and utilize it and direct it powerfully, right? So the last thing I want to say about this is that the money mindset work is never ending, so don't slack on it. I still do this work, you guys. This is the work that I teach, and there's always next levels. So it's getting comfort with next levels of receiving. It's getting comfort with next levels of, normalizing millions, right? Normalizing, different levels of receiving in certain revenue streams, whatever it is, right? It's work that I consistently do too. It's why I teach it and why I'm in the work with my students. You are in relationship with money, so don't slack on your money mindset. And then here's the thing that I want to tell you. The work is not about doing the work to get the money. That's not what this work is about. This work is about doing it because of who you desire to be, right? And who you become. And as you become that more abundant, empowered version of you, you inevitably create more, make more, generate more, allow yourself to keep more, all of those things. 5, mentorship is really, really key as you are scaling. And it's, maybe it's not absolutely necessary, but why wouldn't you want yourself to be supported? This is a question that I ask, right? I always ask this to women when they resist investing in themselves or mentorship, because I find it curious. Why wouldn't you want to be supported? The way I see it, support allows you to create more efficiency. It provides direction. It creates alignment. There's a deep accountability that you can be held within when you have that type of mentorship. Your mentors can lend you leadership. When you are being held, you can hold more. Right? Think about it, right? When you're feeling overwhelmed and unsupported, it's like, I can't hold all these things. But when you're feeling really deeply held and supported, there's a spaciousness to that. There's a freedom to that allows you to hold more, right? And I have found that, when I'm working with a coach, where I'm in a mentorship, I don't let limiting beliefs hold me back, because I deal with them immediately, because they're going to come up, right? There's going to be moments where you don't feel 100%, where you start to waver and question and doubt, right? It happens. But, with a mentor, they can shine that mirror for you. They can help you see, what that pattern is, or what way of thinking is that's holding you back, and then you can deal with it. Also, if you don't have an answer to something, your mentor likely will, or they will know where to find an answer, right? Let somebody inspire you, let somebody guide you, let somebody show you a path of expansion and what's possible. Having that runway in front of me of like, this is what I can do, and this is how I would do it in my authentic way, right, has been incredibly valuable on that path, right? Support expands your capacity to grow. Bottom line, invest with trust, invest with confidence with whomever it is that you want to work with. Okay, 6, your faith, your connection with your soul, with God, the universe, higher power, whatever it is that you want to call it. This is your direct link to the abundant life, right? As you as you scale, right? As you grow into deeper depths and higher heights, right? This is part of it. This is about, the way that I think about this and this connection is that this is about, as we are becoming abundant, as we are leading ourselves into new territory and next levels of receivership and abundance, right? This is about our pursuit of all that is good and true and beautiful, and experiencing the fullness of the joy that you desire and deserve, right? And really allowing that, right? That is the next level of receivership. That is the next level of flow of abundance that you deserve to have in your life. And when you're making, next levels of money, right? That deserves to be celebrated. That deserves to be honored as something sacred, right? And that's also is you giving yourself permission to really enjoy your life, right? What you're doing is miraculous. It's amazing, right? It's beyond incredible. And so it deserves to be celebrated. And you deserve to delight in your business, right? And delight in that success, and to delight in the fact that you visioned it, right? You worked for it, you manifested it, right? You actualized what it is that you said you wanted, right? And so delighting and having this connection with that vision is super important, because it's your commitment, it's your devotion to your vision and your desires actualized, right? The other thing I want to say here is that it's also part of the awareness, right? Because as you scale and grow, it's going to be really normal to have questions or to have doubts creep in, right? And so that connection to your soul, to God, to source, to the universe, to your highest self, your inner being, right? That's going to connect you back to the truth, because the truth is what got you here and what got you into your expansion is going to be you following your calling, you listening to the whispers, tuning into the nudges, right? Actually taking action and paying attention to where your guidance, right? Where that intuition is telling you to go. And that's what's going to have fed your creativity, right? That's what's going to have, urged you, yes, I want to follow this because it feels really aligned, right? The thing is that your next step is always delivered. And sometimes when we're in that place of doubt, we forget that and we're like, is it working? Is it happening? But the next step is always delivered, but we have to make space for it, right? We have to be connected in such a way that we actually listen for it, right? And that's part of that connection. So giving yourself time for this type of devotion, right? For really listening, for receiving, for tuning in is essential. Okay, I've got 2 or 3 more here. Number 7, do less and do only what's aligned. Do less and do only what's aligned. I love strategy. I love making plans. You guys, if you've been inside of my courses, you know that I teach a lot of strategy, right? I teach goal setting, I teach all these things, but this is my favorite strategy, doing less and doing only what's aligned, because the power is not in the strategy. The power is inside of you, right? The power is in your greatness and your mindset and your willingness and your talents, your gifts, your zone of genius. That's where the power is, right? We can look around on the interwebs, and you'll see that there's like 1,000 different strategies that can be really successful for lots of different people, right? So it's not about that. It's about matching it up with, what's going to work for you. And so own your zone of genius confidently, right? Stay in your lane, keep focused on it, right? Do less and do only what's aligned. Over the past year, you guys, I have taken so many things off of my plate, right? With this mantra in mind, do less and do only what's aligned, right? Because we all have this, this training that we have to be busy to successful, right? We have to be like, doing more is what produces more. Doing more is what makes more money, or doing more is what, adds up to the dollars in the bank. But it's not necessarily true. I have found that as I do less and less, but I get more and more focused and more clear and confident in what I do, I'm able to produce more there, right? And there's more spaciousness and more capacity to hold, right? Bigger things. So own your worth, own your value, and then meet people in their power, right? Meet people in their power, and be a source that people can trust in your work, right? Serving from heart is what empowers others to, up level in their energy. So do less and do only what's aligned. Okay, number 8, and then I've got one more. Your dream team. You have to find your dream team. As you're expanding, you got to have a support system around you, right? Extraordinary leaders are powerful receivers. You guys, I say this all the time. Your growth requires support at the roots, right? When you get to a certain level, whether it's 6 figures or multiple 6 or 7 figures, even before you get to 6 figures, I would say outsourcing key tasks really allows you to stay in that zone of genius, and allows you to really play in your creativity, to feed your joy, to find your alignment, right? You could do it all of yourself, right? You could do it all yourself, but eventually and inevitably that would lead to, sacrificing your highest values and probably end up in burnout, right? And resentment. So support can look like lots of different things. I wrote a list of things: an assistant, a coach, a bookkeeper, an accountant, a financial planner, a graphic social media expert, an account managers, other specialists that are specific to your industry. Could look like sales support, or a house cleaner, or a massage therapist, or a personal trainer, or who knows what. Maybe it's a CFO, maybe it's a head of operations. It just depends on the type of your business and what it is that you're doing. But what I want to encourage you is to think holistically. And that's why this list is so broad, right? It's life pieces and business pieces. This is really going to vary. What the support needs is going to vary based on your lifestyle too, right? And the things that maybe even just the season of life that you're in. Some people are going to need a babysitter. Some people are beyond that, right? Just where you are. What I want to encourage you to think about is that these aren't like bougie, unnecessary luxuries. I want you to think about what are the systems of support and the networks of support that are essential for your continued growth and your capacity, right? And to not be a bottleneck in your business, to not become resentful, but really keep you in that place of alignment. And that these systems and support networks, they employ people. They offer opportunities. They circulate abundance inside of your community, right? They're helping you stay in alignment and in love with your life and your work, right? So this is key stuff. Okay, the last thing that I have here is, and I wrote it down: embody your highest self and focus on your self leadership. And this is key because we want to think about, being in harmony and being in congruence with our most authentic, highest version of ourselves, right? Really living fully expressed. Who are you around your kids? Who are you around your partner? Who are you around your friends, your colleagues? Who are you when you're driving your car? Who are you when you're on your sales calls? Who are you when you're serving your clients? Who are you when you're in a disagreement? How are you operating? How are you communicating? How are you listening? How are you leading? How are you consistently thinking? What are the things that you're saying to yourself? How do you see yourself? All of these are really, really good questions to help you check in and notice, are you in alignment with becoming that highest, most fully expressed version of yourself? Are you embodying the most abundant version of you, the most empowered version of you? Because your identity is key, right? And this is all part of that identity, and really striving to more and more step into who it is that you want to be, right? This isn't about becoming somebody different, right? Or pretending to be something that you're not. This is about really embodying what's most authentic to you and letting your abundant, empowered, high integrity, powerful, feminine, generous self shine. And noticing, where is there still work to be done? Where do you still need to heal? Where do you still need to forgive? Where do you still need to have an adjustment in your beliefs? And then doing the work to clean up any of those aspects that aren't a match, that aren't in alignment with who it is that you want to be and become. So, the things that I want to say here, there's like so many other things that I could say, but I think this is good for now. Growth is ongoing. You are always expanding. And one of the things that I love about working with women who are growing and expanding is that it's a holistic process. It's never just about like the numbers or the financial spreadsheet or the revenue or the expenses that are coming through, the income statement on their business. It's about so much more than that, right? Because we are whole people and we bring our whole selves into our work. And so we have to look at all of these pieces and how we're lining up to create that, next level version of ourselves.